Amy is our guest. She's on the cover of the newsletter, and it was an important thing if she was walking because she'd been hit by a car or a bicycle and things like that. But anyhow, that's how we met Amy. And Amy's an interesting person. She's very quiet and personal and feminine and all that sort of thing, but she's a lot tougher than you might think. She started her career with flight training. She was a certified flight instructor. She met a guy who was also in the flight program, and they married, and he's a commercial pilot. But Amy's career took a turn. She got interested in the ultrasound and its ability to image in the human body. And she seemed to have a knack for looking at three-dimension objects that are projected in two and figuring out what's there. And that ultrasound does that. So she became a sonographer. And she's pretty good at it. I hear that she's especially popular with young mothers because Amy knows how to tell the difference between a turtle and a clam on an ultrasound. For pregnant mothers, that's an important distinction. I won't go any more into that aspect of that. But we're here tonight because of her interest in climbing and her accomplishments and her goals. We know there's a lot of 14,000-foot mountains in Colorado, and some of you have climbed some of them. Some of you may have climbed them all. I don't know. Amy has climbed them all, and there's a group that has not only climbed them all, but they climb them once in the summer and they climb them again in winter. And you were talking about the difficulty of getting together to do a driver planning in the month of February. February is a very cold month, and it was a very snowy month, and I believe this is true, and Amy can correct me if I'm wrong, is that was the month she did her final 14 climbs. And when she reached the summit on her second climb, the last of her 14, she had then climbed all 14 in summer and in winter. And she became a part of a very small group of people who had done that, and there's only one other woman who has ever done that before. So it was a very significant accomplishment. When we're with her, she's Amy here with us tonight. But when she climbs, she's blazing toes. She's not done this talk before, and we haven't worked this way before. But I'm going to run the slides, and she's going to talk. So, blazing toes, the floor is yours.
I mentioned to Gordon, if you just give me a rope and tell me to climb, I'd be a lot more comfortable. So I'm totally out of my element here, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this. I've never done this before. Climbing mountains, and it's a sport that's often protected by its frugality. However, you only need 3 things to climb mountains, and I suspect those are the same 3 things to be a member of this club. And that is money, and money, Mountaineering, which is also called alpinism, all that means is just climbing a mountain and knowing what it takes to get to the top of the mountain. Having the technical skills and ability and equipment to get to the top. And respecting that getting to the top is not mandatory. Coming down is mandatory. When you climb mountains, you learn a new awareness, and there are several reasons why I like climbing mountains. They teach patience and persistence and gratitude.
Leaves me out.
And the skills that I've acquired over the years learning how to get to the tops of mountains, they're skills that I'll carry for the rest of my life. And I have so much to tell you about all of that today. I think that mountains, every time you climb, they have something to teach. And I listen. So anyway, this is a map of this is a map of Colorado, and these are the highest 100 peaks. All these little bullets are the highest 100 peaks. So these are all mountains that are over 13,801 feet. In Colorado, 14ers, do you understand what 14er means? It means a mountain over 14,001 foot. And there actually is one 14er that is exactly that, 14,001 foot. So it's just barely, it's in sunshine in the San Juans. But then if you climb the highest 100 peaks, those are called the Centennials. And these are the highest 100 peaks in Colorado. So I've not climbed all of these in winter, but I have climbed all the 14ers in winter and summer. Okay, now.
And what's the longest time it's taken you from start to top?
That's a very good question. 26 hours. Wow. Non-stop.
So you're climbing at night.
Yes. You start and end in the dark. Wow. But as you know, this time of year, you're not afforded daylight for a long period of time. So you accept that I'm going to start at 2 o'clock in the morning or midnight, and I'm probably going to finish the next day at midnight. So you go through a whole cycle. When you do climb the tallest, all of them, you are decorated with this certificate from the Colorado Mountain Club. The Colorado Mountain Club only recognizes 54 14ers, and the reason is that there are actually 72 mountains in Colorado that are over 14,000 feet, but they have to meet two very specific criteria, and that is there must be 1/2 mile distance between each summit, and there must be 300 feet of elevation change at the saddle. And so there are only 54 of those that meet those criteria. Next. You will meet some people in the mountains that you will call your friends forever. And this is the first person I ever met while climbing 14ers, and his name's Joe. And Joe is from Chicago. And when I started hiking the mountains, they start getting more technical. And I was out climbing some mountains in the San Juans that I was nervous about because I'm by myself and they're technical. And I ran into this guy. He says, "Where are you going today?" I said, "Well, I'm going to climb that one, and when I'm done climbing that one, I'm going to climb that one, and then I'm going to go over there and climb that one." And he says, "Do you mind if I join you?" And I said, "Sure, if you can keep up." And he did. I'd go as fast as I could and look back, and there's Joe with that same smile. I met Joe June 27th, 2013, and he's coming out here this summer. We have climbed mountains every summer ever since.
Oh.
Next. This is the day that Joe and I met, and we climbed in the San Juans. This is Mount Wilson Peak. We did that one. Go to the next slide. And we did this one. And when you get up there, these summit markers, you see here, that the USGS puts on top of the tallest point. And this one just happens to be on a loose rock at the tallest point. So you have to pick the rock and say, "I did." And next slide. These are the maroon bells. The maroon bells are in the Aspen area. Next slide. And Joe, he says, "Hey, do you know how to camp? Can we go camping and climb some other peaks?" And I said, "Sure. Have you ever been camping before?" He said, "Sure." I lied. I had never been camping. So he's got the big tent, I have the little tent. And these are actually called bivouacs. You know what bivouac means? It's just a tiny little thing that it just protects you from the elements outside. That's it. One time, like 2 weeks after this, my water bottle leaked in there, and I remember waking up. It's so cold. Oh, whoops. It's totally soaking. Oh, many lessons are learned. Next slide. As I said, the peaks get more technical. But Joe, he's a very agile athlete. He used to be a cornerback in college. So he's very agile. He would go up these things, and I would watch him. I'm thinking, how's this guy from Chicago know how to climb these mountains? I'm out here climbing every week, and I should know. But if Joe, had it not been for Joe, I would have not continued climbing the mountains. Next. This ridge here. So the last 2 pictures ago with the bivouacs, we camped that night to go and do this ridge. This ridge is
You recorded yourself.
that's Joe. That's Joe. I'm never up front. Joe's always up front because I'm too chicken. So Joe's up there, and you do this entire ridge.
What is that ridge?
So what peak is that?
We had just finished Little Bear, so the picture of me scaling up, we had done the north face of Little Bear, and then you connect this ridge over to Blanca Peak, and Blanca Peak is in the Sangre de Cristos. So right over on this side are the Sandys.
Is that the easy way to top of Blanco?
Oh, not at all. That's the most difficult way to get up to the rock. And this was our first multi-day backpacking trip, and then I had confessed my sins that this is only the second time I've ever done this, so let's go. My other love and passion is riding bikes. And I think that combined with rock climbing, that they offer me the health and physical benefits, and the two of them, they feed off of each other. Like where the muscles are developed in climbing, they're oppositely developed in biking. And I think they complement each other well. This is Engineer Pass. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about driving up there, but you can. Like Jeeps go up there all the time. They go up Engineer Pass and then come down Cinnamon Pass.
This sounds like a Jaguar trail.
And you're equally decorated in the biking community if you do things like this. I did the entire Colorado Trail here, and it took 2 weeks, 17th to the 31st. Get a little certificate. I recognized that I couldn't keep free soloing things, and I needed to learn how to climb, so I reached out to the Colorado Mountain Club, and this is Bob. And Bob taught me how to climb on ropes. He would teach rock climbing clinics. So he's the first person that taught me rock climbing, and I borrowed his helmet and his harness and his shoes, and they're all too big for me, but I still love things. And this is Tony. Tony, I met him also in the mountains. He taught me traditional climbing. So traditional climbing is taking these pieces of gear and placing them in the rock and then clipping your rope into the rock. So that if you climb up above that piece and you slip and fall, that piece that is protecting you when the rock catches you. And Tony taught me. And
Have
this
you
is
ever
my
had one come loose?
Oh, yes. Lots of bad things happen. This is my first time following up traditional climbing. This is an 11-mile canyon, which is, do you know where Mueller State Park is? Yeah, it's in that area. It's a beautiful place to camp.
Yeah, I can't either. I would never do that. Too much of a
And Tony
chicken.
also taught me how to climb a spiky things. I call these spiky things. And spiky things are amazing. There's something so powerful about having your own talent and digging into the snow and rock and ice and being able to scale up to the top of something that makes you feel strong. And this is my first time ever on spiky things. Back here are the Twin Lakes, so over here is Leadville.
Oh.
And that's my first time up a technical couloir. A couloir just means like an indentation into the mountain where snow fills in, and it's anywhere from like 30 to 50 degrees in pitch. And just understanding how to get up to that, and you look at the scale of the climb, and maybe there's a cornice right in the middle, and you think, oh, I don't want to go over there, that cornice might fall, so I'll sneak over to the right, and that's exactly what we're doing to get away from it. These down here are called birch runs, and they're equally dangerous to be around as a cornice because you can fall through those and you have no idea which my friend Tony has done. Tony's love is free soloing. And free soloing, I don't know if you saw that movie, Free Solo, with Alex Honnold, but it's climbing technical peaks without gear. And what we both love about that is that it's like this peaceful, meditative flow. It's like, and you're so laser focused. Being able to touch the rock, you feel alive, feeling the rubber on your shoes stick into the rock, and you're so focused that there's nothing, you don't even hear or feel anything other than I'm climbing this rock, and it's very peaceful and meditative. So I really love free soloing. And next, see? This is all following Tony with Bob's shoes. I still have Bob's shoes. They're too big for me.
That's right.
Yeah.
You get up to things like this. So this is in the San Juans. This is called Tea Kettle Peak. And back here is Mount Sneffels. That's a 14er. But you climb up around this way and scale the top of that.
That's a great shot.
If you like free solo. Yeah. That's on the top, just thinking, what I really enjoy about being on top of mountains like this is there's a peace and a stillness and a quietness, and we live every day in these very comfortable environments, from temperature controlled rooms. We can order pizza and wine anytime we want, right? And you go to a place like this and you don't get those creature comforts. So you learn to adapt, and you learn to just appreciate the simple things in life, just survival and And that's what I love the most is you can stand up here and you hear nothing, but you see everything.
We get that same feeling in a Jaguar at 100 miles an hour. So everything you see goes by real fast.
I figure whatever hobby I do, that there are parallels with any other hobby. So that tea kettle peak, we had to climb up over this, and I was standing over there 2 films ago. But sometimes you need ropes. Because if you, yeah, sure, some people can free solo these, but you might die if you free solo these, but this
Who
is
put the
a,
rope up there?
what's that?
Yeah.
How did the rope get up there? Your friend?
Somebody leads up it, and then they set up an anchor at the top, and then you follow up, and you clean up the anchor, and then you rappel back down to them. But it's not, we go to the next link, and sometimes you don't rope up.
That looks dangerous.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
that was dangerous. But I have spiky things, so I'm okay. This was, I finally realized I need to learn how to lead now, because as you noticed, all those films are all somebody else leading. And then I decided, I want to be leader, I'm a leader. This is my first time ever leading up something. So as you can see, like you clip in, place in gear here, and lead up. So if I climb up to there and I don't place anything here, I'm gonna fall to there and the rope stretch as well. So you take pretty big falls. You take big falls. Next. Once I started acquiring more skills and ability, then I started looking at more national pursuits. This is considered the hardest day hike in North America. It's Mount San Jacinto, it's in Palm Springs, and it's also known as Cactus to Clouds. So you start at sea level and you go all the way up to 10,834 feet, and I did that in 6 hours.
Oh my God.
That's how I got blazing toes, but I'm not blazing toes. And these are some of the places I've been around our country, Canada, and then I went down here and I climbed Chimborazo, and it's one of the tallest mountains in the world. And I recognized then that I have a lot more work to do. There were guides. There are mandatory guides when you go out to South America, to Ecuador to climb. You cannot climb these by yourself. You have to pay guides. Go up, and I understand, and I respect it. I'm not going to go outside of those rules.
Kilimanjaro. Is that
Kilimanjaro
the one
in
that
Japan.
they have miles of people? Yeah.
But I think doing those peaks in Ecuador, it cured me of ever wanting to do Everest. Big things, like if I can't do them on my own power, on my own navigational skills, my own ability, then I'm not really interested in that. That's why Everest just didn't interest me anymore. And this is, then Tony, after he taught me trad climbing and climbing on spiky things, then the next thing was, how do you climb mountains in winter? And it's the same thing, but there's a lot more technicality involved. Like he taught me how to build a snow cave, which that's helped me out a couple of times. You get an unexpected storm comes along. You run out of time, you're tired, and you don't have anything, you don't have a tent. Well, I learned how to build a snow cave, packing up snow and digging it out and sleeping inside of it. And we did that right here. This is Mount Sopris, so when you're going into Aspen, the very first mountain you see off to the right side, that's Mount Sopris. And it's a beautiful mountain. These are the maroon bells again back here. So Tony and I, after building the snow cave, we went down here, that's called Minnehaha Gulch, up into here, and we climbed the north face of North Maroon Peak. And that's South Maroon. Next. Once I finished the 14ers, I got really interested in the Centennial, so the highest 100. When you start doing things like that, you get another term other than alpinist, and that's called a peak bagger, which I'm not too interested in that, because once you learn the technical skills and abilities, you start looking at mountains differently and think to yourself, like, I want to find the most difficult, challenging way to get to the top. And therefore, peak bagging no longer interests me, because you want to get there most efficiently. I want to get there most with the biggest challenge. That's my husband, and he's sometimes a sucker and comes with me. But this is after I finished the highest 100. So this is Mount Adams Peak. This is in the Crestones. This is Challenger, and that's Kit Carson, and these are the Crestones, the peak in the middle.
Where is that located?
That's it. So right over here are the sand dunes again.
Oh.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So the town of Crestone is to the west.
Okay.
But we had backpacked in there, because now I'm a backpack expert, right? And he hiked up here with me, and he looked over at these peaks, and he says, I can see why you like coming out here. These are beautiful mountains. Okay, next. Well, sometimes accidents happen. So while learning how to rock climb, sometimes those pieces come loose and you fall and break things. And I broke my foot, and I broke the foot so bad that Brad, his son, had to CT my foot because I had broken the bones in there that X-ray fits. So X-ray is a two-dimensional image of bones, and CT is a three-dimensional image of bones. And we wanted a three-dimensional image to see how bad the damage was.
How long did that take to heal?
6 weeks, but then another 6 weeks of PT. But I just got these sweet crutches.
Oh my gosh.
I think you do that.
And after I was healed, that mountain was Mauna Kea. Mauna Kea is the tallest mountain in Hawaii. And some people think that it's the tallest mountain in the world because if you measure it from its base, the ocean floor to the top, it's 33,000 feet tall. Mount Everest is 29,000.
Oh my.
But I didn't hike 33,000 feet. I
Did
just,
you go all the way to the bottom?
wouldn't that be cool? Like scuba dive to the bottom, come back up? That would take a long time.
Take the fins off, probably would.
Take the fins off. And
Oh dear.
once the foot healed, I felt like a bird out of a cage, so it was time to go, right? Tony taught me. Tony, what's that? That's me right there. Tony also taught me ice climbing, so this is now ice climbing, so this is like really spiky things.
Oh look.
It's
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
Is that outside of Rotary?
This is in Rifle. Yeah, Rifle, it ices over every year, and it's a beautiful
Wow.
place to climb.
Oh my
Rifle
gosh.
Gap?
Rifle Camp?
Rifle Gap, is that Rifle Gap Falls?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yep, that's exactly what it is. This is the top of Longs Peak in winter. This is another peak bagging friend of mine. Like I said, you meet a lot of people that age in mountains. As here, like you're all friends.
Right.
You all share a hobby, an interest, and a love. Same here. Okay. And this is climbing the Maroon Bells. Remember the Maroon Bells? This is another 14er called Snowmass Peak. And I was in a party of three. We were the first party of three to have climbed this peak in a day in winter.
Wow.
And that happened 4 years ago.
Do you ever need oxygen?
No, I don't feel like I do. I feel like I acclimatize well. Like climbing in Ecuador, I didn't feel difficult at all. Because we climbed some peaks before to acclimatize, like 16,000 foot peaks. I didn't feel anything. And then at the top, I felt fine. You just kind of take your time. There's certain things like called a rest step. Like you take a step, but then you rest this foot. And then you take a step and rest that foot. And then that's about how fast you move. And again, like expanding on skills. This is called rope rescue. Once you have the skills, then you recognize that sometimes I'm going to be with a party and somebody's going to get hurt, and you have to be able to rescue that person. So it takes a lot of time and more money. And this is a 3-day course that I learned how to. It's called escaping the belay. So meaning get out of the system, protect myself, go down, get the person that's injured, and bring them back up. And it took 3 days to learn those skills. And once I learned those skills, then I thought, okay, I'm going to start leading my own expeditions. I feel comfortable enough to lead, to navigate, and bring people up. And if there's an accident, I feel that I could be a good search and rescue team member and be able to resuscitate, stop the whatever injury, and call search and rescue if I need to. So this is one of the peaks that I climbed with a team of 3, and these are some of the things I carry. My pack probably weighs 50 pounds. I weigh 115 pounds. So that's a lot. I can lead up things like this, no problem. And I showed this image because on this climb, my other partner did get injured. So he climbed up past the anchor that I had built and didn't place a piece and kept going, and he fell from there past me, past anchor off the cliff. And it was upside down in his harness and it cut open his head. So I escaped the belay, I pulled him up to me and fixed up his head, and I said, let's keep going.
Yeah, did he?
He did. He finished the climb. I keep super glue. Super glue is great for cuts on your head. Like super glue is effective.
Stings like crap.
This is in Zion National Park. I would drive for everybody. If y'all have national parks pass, Zion is amazing. This is St. Mary's Peak, and it's a technical peak that I led my husband up. So the next slide. You can see how excited he is.
You look more
He hates
excited
it.
than anybody else in these pictures.
I'm always excited. That's usually how people look at me. Like, yay, get me off of this mountain. I hate her. I say some days you're a hero and some days you're a zero. And I showed this slide because when I'm not climbing, my usual routine is commute to work via bike and go to the next one. And unfortunately, I'll ride home one day from work, November 9th, 2016, I got hit from behind, and it shattered my back, my shoulders, my pelvis, and Parker Adventist Hospital saved me.
So is all the hardware still in you?
All this is in me, all that's in me, and the screw, all this stuff's out because that's external fixation, but there's a screw down through my pelvis.
Still do it.
Did they stop for you, Amy?
Yeah, had she not stopped, I'd be dead because of the pelvic fractures.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if you know this, but any pelvic fractures that you have, they bleed really bad, and most people die from internal bleeding from pelvic fractures.
Oh.
That's what the staples was from, is that cut me open, it's not internal bleeding in the pelvic. That's what my back looks like now. And so, learning my new limitations, naturally I want to keep going and being active and doing the things that I love, doing my hobby. This leg was paralyzed, and this is my first hike after I learned how to walk again. And this is with my husband, and this is Rocky Mountain National Park in Palo. So I'm pretty excited to be out there. And I started getting back in the gym again to climb because I wanted to build up those muscles and retrain everything and understand and respect my new limitations. I hiked to the, remember who said Mount Bierstadt? You! That's Mount Bierstadt, and I hiked up Mount Bierstadt in winter after I healed up. And that climb in summertime would maybe take me 4 hours to get to the top and back in summer.
So
And in winter,
it's a mountain where you have to get a beer quickly?
I did write a poem about them. I just climbed Bierstadt and I need a
Beer.
Bierstadt.
Yeah.
In the winter time, because of the road closures, this climb would probably take me about 8 hours. On this day, it took me 16 hours. Yeah. And there's Mauna Kea again. So now with 2 good feet, because remember the Mauna Kea before with the crutches, you know, for my birthday, I said I want to go hike to the top of Mauna Kea again on 2 good feet. So like, wow. Yeah, there's a good foot. This is the leg that was paralyzed. His name's Elvis. I get back on the ropes again. Start doing more alpine technical climbs. This is called the Prow, and this is Kit Carson. So you remember the Sangre de Cristos when I was up on the peak with my husband and we were looking over at Kit Carson? This is the west ridge of Kit Carson. There's Joe. I can always count on Joe. Joe comes out here every summer. These are the broom bells. So Joe and I, we climbed when he was out here the very first time I met him in 2013, one of the 14ers, and now he's trying to knock off all the centennials because I've done it. So I'm doing repeat climbing with him. And I led up what's called Dallas Peak. Remember Tea Kettle? And I pointed, it's like, hey, that's one of the 14ers. So I led up a technical peak with Joe and my husband. And the 1-year anniversary, it took me a long time to want to get back on my bike. but I did, and I went to the place where I got hit, like, on the year anniversary.
You made it.
I made it. I made it.
So you got hit at night?
Yes, because November, that's when the time clocks change. So the week prior, it's still light at 5:30 in the evening when I'm on the road. But now at 5:30 in the evening, it's that dark. And the woman that hit me, she's 85 years old, so I figured had I been riding my bike down the road lit on fire, she probably still would have seen me.
So did she get in trouble, or was it just an accident?
She did. She got a careless driving, and that's it. In the state of Colorado, if you're over the age of 65, your assets are protected even if you cause vehicular homicide.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So the max liability that we could sue her for was her max liability car insurance, which was $100,000. But my billables were $1.2 million.
Your insurance covered?
Yes. That's why I'm gonna stay with guys.
I guess everybody in this room is covered.
I continued the winter climbing because I had mountains to climb. And so I had set out a goal a long time ago to climb all the 14ers in winter because I knew that not a lot of people have done it. And I finished a couple of weeks ago. I'm the 15th person to have ever done it and the second one. And this was one of the peaks, and this was the day after Casey's bridal shower. So I put her wedding ring up here in this box, so it's up there still. Actually, I think it's right there. This is Mount Rainier. I led up the COTS route, so it's a water ice route. You need lots of spiky things, and sometimes you go up and there's water trickling down on you, and sometimes there's ice, and sometimes there are crevasses. So I'm assessing how we're going to cross this because I crossed here and it broke. Yeah, so we ended up going all the way around up to there. This is Guadalupe Peak. This is the tallest mountain in Texas. So peak baggers, they like to climb all the tallest mountains in every single state. But in Florida, I think it's like a trash dome. I probably won't do that one. And sometimes you see happy little animals. So I have seen, I love going out there to see the wildlife and just feeling out one with them. This is not zoomed in, I am not close to that black bear. In my experience with black bears, they're docile and I'm more scared of them.
Is that a full grown?
Yes. Female. They're not that big. And they just look at you like, wow, look at berries. These are the maroon bells. I did this, the South Maroon, because I did North Maroon with Tony when I was learning winter mountaineering, but I had not done South, and I did South by myself. Continue biking because I love the balance. That's called bike packing. So you pack up all your whole life in bags and put them on your bike. Go. This is Castlewood Canyon. That's my husband again. See, poor guy. But he likes going out there with me and getting strong. Get really strong before I'm bicycling. What kind of equipment is needed to climb mountains? Money, money, money. All the money, money, money. You need ropes and snowshoes. These are ice pickets, ice tools. These are different ice axes. These are fancy boots. These are some of the pieces that I placed inside the rock to protect me from the harness.
Yeah, one guy had a belt of those things on your early bunch of pictures.
Right.
So is he going to use all those, or you take them back out after the climb?
The person following behind him takes them out and clips them into their harness. And if you lose one, and the one piece, that little piece right there costs $60. That one piece, $60. But then you get to go up things like this.
You
You get to the top and you feel like this. Or at least I feel like that. And Joe, here he is again. This is Joe last year. He took a picture of me on Cathedral Peak. Those are the maroon bells, which Joe and I have done all those. We hadn't done this peak, and I've already done that peak in winter and summer. And I let him up. Now, these are the Tetons.
Wow.
So I did a 3-day, like 2 night sleeping, 3-day climbing.
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh dear.
This is in the Black Canyon. So you're up here, you hike down, you boat across, and then you hike up. So it's called the Genghis Khan Gully, and then lead up on the top of that, and then you reverse.
Where'd you get the boat?
Inflatable on Amazon for $13. That's a bull moose.
See, look at him.
And I have not zoomed in again, and I know to not get any closer than that, because they're very aggressive just to be aggressive. Yeah, fabulous. This is what in the Black Canyon. That's Kit Carson Peak again. So in the future, what I like to do is be more of a mentor. So I've been mentoring this guy and then another kid. Learn from me. I will be a good example of what to not do. Because I am the path of most resistance. Let me show you the path of least resistance. I like going up and doing goofy things sometimes. This is the top of Bierstadt again. This was on Christmas Day. So before Christmas dinner, I'll run up there and go crazy. Just run up there. That's another kid that I'm mentoring right now. That's my little friend Sebastian. He goes with me everywhere I go. Sebastian.
I questioned her on the wisdom of climbing, solo climbing in the winter and so on, and she assured me she never climbs alone. She always has.
Sebastian. My comfort animal.
Does he have rescue training?
Yes, you know. Someday he's gonna build a zip line from the top, and I'll just zip on down back to my car.
Of course, it helps if you can fly.
I said that to him one time, like, you're worthless. Why don't you just fly me out of here? And do you have any questions? Well, I want to assure you too, when I'm by myself, I have a 2-way communication
That's
device.
exactly what I was going to ask you.
I saw that worried mother look. So it's okay, it's okay. It's called a DeLorme tracker, so it can track my movement. It does communicate with the GLONASS satellite system, which is what NASA communicates with. It's a 2-way communication device. I have an application on my phone, and I can send 60-character texts to anybody's email or anybody's cell phone. I can send it to Gordon if I want to. But hey, this is where I'm at, I'm okay. Or like, hey, would you mind bringing me a sandwich?
Just let me know. I'll turn to my new Jaguar and bring it up to you.
Oh my God.
Look at the drone, I bet.
Do you have a special diet?
No, well, when I first started hiking mountains, I ate whatever everybody else eats. But after I met Tony, Tony's a vegetarian, which is different than vegan. Vegetarian just means you don't eat meat. And I thought, well, how do you say still so strong? He's so strong and very muscular. But I learned from him how to eat vegetarian, and I eat vegetarian still to this day. And before my accident, I was completely vegetarian, and that is the most lean and fit and strong I've ever been in my life. So yes, I eat vegetarian.
Should we do our break now?